I'm going to share with all of you here a few words about the course in mindfulness. I mean, what's the need of this particular course? This is very important, the purpose of it. What I see all over the world is a transition of consciousness. We all feel that the change is happening in every facet of human life. There was a time when we thought many things, we dreamed many things, and we thought that possibly if they all happened to our lives, we all would be just happy. Particularly, we thought that if we can somehow, with all our scientific means, reach a point where the technology can give us everything at the tip of the finger, then possibly life would be more easier and comfortable. So all efforts were made for last century. If we look at it, so much effort has been made, and during the last 20 years, if we see, the explosion of scientific technology has given man everything that they need. Now the thing is this, we have so much. In the world today, you know that we have so much money, and we have so much technology, we have so many gadgets, we have so many things in our life, but then why people say they are missing something? What's that missing thing in their life? Why people are becoming more and more restless every day? Why people are becoming more directionless? Why people say even that we are into a kind of a rat race? Why people are even hearing the word that you may join this particular rat race, but don't forget, you end up being a rat. Why it's happening? It's very simple, that the whole focus has been externalized. And we are seeing this whole process of living life completely externalized through our sensual perceptors and the external world, is that it gradually creates an inner void. Something misses in the inner world. And what's an inner world? The inner world is more to do with our feelings. The inner world has something to do with our happiness, with our love and being loved, with our ability to be compassionate, empathetic. All of it ultimately leads to a state of an inner environment, which basically is all about peace in life. And we hear all over the world today that peace is missing. We have money, we have everything, but peace is missing. This is the purpose why we want to have this course in mindfulness, because if we look into the ancient past of all the religious faith traditions in the world, we'll see that ultimately all faith traditions in the world, they basically worked with the human mind. They found that unless the imperfections of the mind, the impurities of the mind, the modifications of the mind, if they are not taken care, if the inner home is not cleansed and decluttered, the mind cannot come to express its luminosity, its clarity. And all of it comes from a very calm state of mind. So, the course in mindfulness is basically to take us to our root of spiritual practice. What's the root of our spiritual practice? It's very simple. Can we, from our addictive behavior, compulsive behavior to run and more, become a go-getter, get it done, do, these different things has become a kind of an addiction for the mind. And you will see that people, if you allow them to just sit without doing anything, they will go crazy, they'll go nuts. They are fine as long as you give them something to do. If they have nothing to do, they can just flip over the different channels in the TV and sit down and just look at it. But they have to do something. But if you ask somebody to just be, they'll say, what do you want me to be? It's because we have gradually grown into a state where we are more human doings than human beings. But don't you think that we are essentially human beings in this planet? And vis-a-vis all the other species of life, don't you think that we humans have something very special in us, and that is only we humans can find the ultimate intuitive experiential understanding or realization of who am I. All other species of life may be very, very intelligent, but when it comes to that intuitive wisdom of the ultimate knowledge of just being aware of who am I, who you are, that is the human excellence. So here in this course of mindfulness, it's basically to acknowledge the growing consciousness all over the world and the popularity of this particular scientific approach to the spirituality, a scientific vision of how man can be once again completely in charge of himself or herself. And for that, mindfulness is not only a spiritual practice, but is highly scientific. It's more like, to be mindful, you need to be more a scientist than a spiritualist to begin with, because what you do as a scientist is you basically observe with an objective mind. And the most important thing is with a lot of curiosity. And more importantly, you do this observation with all the curiosity and awe in your mind, but then you are non-judgmental. So here it is, the whole process of this course in mindfulness, or the mindfulness as a practice in day-to-day life. To come to that calmer zone inside of us is to be observant of our own mind, is to be examining our own mind, is to be present to our own mind, is to be available to our own mind, or rather, more precisely, become aware and conscious of our own mind.